Welcome to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs podcast. My name is Scott Carpenter. I am a personal trainer turned multiple gym owner and investor who's already been through the rock bottom and near bankruptcy in the fitness business. But I've been lucky enough to come out the other side and have turned the profits of my fitness business into indestructible wealth. I'll be sharing the no bullshit strategies, tactics, and advice to win big in business and in life. So if you're a gym owner, a personal trainer, or an online coach who wants to make multiple six figures in take-home profit and have the freedom with your time to actually enjoy it, subscribe now to this podcast. This is the show for you. Welcome to the Profit Lifestyle. I am Scott Carpenter, and what is the profit lifestyle exactly? The profit lifestyle is what I use to describe a couple different things. It is for business owners and entrepreneurs, and it's beyond just making money. We all get into business because what we really want out of it is we want freedom. Ultimately, we want freedom. We want to be able to work when we want to work. We want to spend the time doing the things that we love. We want to have freedom and autonomy. And we all get into business with high hopes and we want more freedom. And quite often, when we first do that, what happens is that we have less freedom because now we're working around the clock. Things are harder than we anticipated. We're working early mornings, we're working nights, we're working weekends. And it's very difficult. But at the end of the day, you can build the dream business that you want, which is a marriage of not just making the money that you want to have all the safety and security, first off, with your bills and all that, but also the abundance and the opportunity to take the trips and take a week or two off of work, or even 3 or 4, to be able to control your schedule. So it's a marriage of making the money that you want to handle your bills, security, abundance, opportunity, the vacations, the opportunities for your family that you want to afford them. And it's a marriage of not just the money, but the time to enjoy it. And that's where a lot of us get trapped, whether we're still struggling on the cash flow side of business or we're struggling to buy back our time and have freedom. But the profit lifestyle is not just making money. It's doing the things that you love, having a passionate life, having a business that works for you instead of you existing to work for your business, so you can get out of that hamster wheel, out of that rat race, and you can be in control of your own destiny.
Not working for the man, working for yourself. You are the man.
That's right.
So why did PT Legends evolve into the profit lifestyle?
Yeah, so I started PT Legends at first because what I realized, PT standing for personal training, right? Was a personal trainer, became a gym owner, became a multiple gym owner. I've been through all phases from where I was flat broke, hand to mouth, month to month for years. I even had to sit in with a couple bankruptcy attorneys because I nearly lost everything multiple times. But at a certain point, I ended up having multiple personal training gyms and was making great income. And then I was really smart about what I did with that income to generate wealth, passive income, where I don't necessarily have to worry about money every single month. And even if the business, I'm going through a rough spot, I'm okay. And initially I started PT Legends because there was all these gym owners, online coaches, and trainers that were undercharging. Mm-hmm. And even when they were doing well, even when acquisition is well, they're like, hey, if I just get to X amount of members, everything will be okay. But one of two things happens. Either they get there and all their expenses are higher now because now they've got more staff, they got more people to service, they're paying more in ads, and it's a lot more work to do that. And they're making more revenue, but it's like, where's the profit? They're still making the same amount. That can happen. But also what can happen is, we're going to have to cut this because I just lost my train of thought.
You're talking about the business owners, and then I'm just assuming people get their money and they don't know what to do with it.
It was that, no, we'll go back to the PT Legends thing, right?
Yeah.
So initially PT Legends stand for personal training. Even though I worked with large group gym owners, semi-private, online coaches, but I named it that because I was specialized in personal training and overlapping PT. I started working with gym owners and fitness entrepreneurs of all types. And really what we focused on was figuring out your prices and your offers, a 3-tiered pricing system that can meet the needs of different people coming in the door. Because a lot of times we have one thing to offer, no matter if that person makes $60,000 a year or $600,000 a year or $6 million a year. And at the end of the day, we're all in this trap where we just need to get more members, And we're still not making much more money, if at all, when you get there. And it's like, man, if I can just get to 150 members, if I can just get to 200 members, everything will be good. But either we can't get there because of market equilibrium. You know, when you have your acquisition here, but your churn is here, a lot of us can't even get to that number. And in a mature market, you might not be able to. But the main thing is like, even when a lot of people are at that, they don't have the profit that they want from the business and the time to enjoy it either. There's just not enough money to be able to buy back your time.
So it's like designing the system with like leverage points in it to where when you get to a certain point, you can pull this lever and that opens up a whole other world of opportunity.
Absolutely. You got a handful of clients. Everybody has 5, 10, 15, 20 clients who are willing to pay you way more money for more attention, to help out with their bigger problems. If you want to make big money, solve bigger problems. And so what I initially did was create a high ticket mentorship. It's not nutrition coaching. Nobody wants nutrition coaching. It's a commodity service. Same thing with the workouts. They're just commodities. You can get a workout anywhere. You can get a workout at F45 versus you can hire this one-on-one trainer for $100 an hour. It doesn't really matter. We're all selling the same thing. And if you solve bigger problems, you get to get paid more money. And so what I created was a high ticket program that is a mentorship. It evolves beyond nutrition coaching. And the hard work for a client coming in is not the 2-3 times a week that they're going to come in and work out. It's the 165 other hours in the week that they're not working out. That's where everybody struggles. You wake up, it's whack-a-mole. You know, you got to make breakfast for the kids. You got to get to work. You've got groceries. You got to get to baseball practice afterwards. You've got work stress. You're plugged into your phone, working at all hours. And it's very hard for people. And food is super addictive. It's very hard to change habits. And so I created a mentorship designed to do just that. So it's the last solution somebody needs. People struggle for 5, 10, 17, 20 years. And it's not the weight necessarily, but it's how it affects them. It's the fact that they wake up and they're unhappy with how they look and feel. And they feel they're not, they suffer with self-esteem, they suffer with social esteem, and they battle this year after year after year.
And it turns into a cycle too, because like if you're, I have really bad food noise, and I was you've seen me when I was 285. You get stressed and you just start eating more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've all been through that yo-yo, that roller coaster. And at the end of the day, what I teach people is how to create fundamental habits they can take with them for the rest of their lives. Losing the weight is not that hard, but keeping it off forever, that's the hard part. And people innately know that. When I say that, they're just nodding up and down.
Yeah.
And then I talk about my program. This is something that you can sell for 9 to 12 weeks. That could be anywhere from $2,000 to $8,000. And not everybody's going to do that. Some people just want to get the workouts. They're not really focused on it. And that's great. You have those offers. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who are willing to pay more for a bigger problem to go away.
Well, and then on top of that, the medical wellness now, like it's here and there's an easy button. People are going to hit the button. Like no matter, it doesn't matter. Like if there's an easier way to do something, people are going to do it. Better, that's still kind of in the gray area. There's, I'm taking it, of course. You've helped with that on my end, and it's great for me. Mm-hmm. But it's designing it to help them get down to where they want, and then help keep them there. And then you're just teaching gym owners how to do that, how to sell that package, right?
Exactly. So when we look at peptides, when we look at GLPs, when we look at all those things, anybody in the health, wellness, fitness space, I don't care if you're a personal trainer, you're an online coach, you own a gym, if you're a chiropractor, if you own a med spa, an IV clinic, an esthetician, peptides, GLPs, they're exploding. You look at an adoption curve, right? Like what happened with the iPhone, what happened with cell phones, what happened with the internet. And it just ramps up very quickly and it just explodes to where literally everybody's doing it. That's where we're heading into with GLPs and peptides, because man, they help your body operate on a such more efficient manner. It cuts down the work that you need to do to a fraction of the period of time. And if you own a health, a wellness, a fitness business, you cannot sleep on GLPs and peptides. Whether you have programs that help support them through it so they don't lose muscle, and they preserve their muscle, they preserve their metabolism so they keep the results long term, or you bolt on a medical wellness program, there is so much money to be made. This is why we see a huge decline in web leads and people coming through the doors in gyms right now, is for boutique gyms especially, is because there's an easier way. There's like, cool, I can just take this as a magic button, or magic pill. But right now, people know also, the word's getting out. If you take GLP-1s and you don't do the strength training, you don't have the proper nutrition, your muscle, your bone, it will waste away. You'll get that sagging skin. You will look 5 to 10 years older in a matter of months. And people are aware of that. And they need to be doing the other things so that they don't have those negative side effects. And you either need to coach them through that, and you need to make that a focus of your marketing, because God, like one out of 5 people are already using these things. Mm-hmm. And we're pretty early in the adoption curve. Yep. It's going to be everywhere.
At some form.
Apps in some form,
it might
absolutely.
Not be weight loss. It might be like muscle building. And
yes, absolutely. There's all the, there's Samoralin, there's Tesamoralin, there's CJC 1295, all these different things that people are doing. I am doing these. Mm-hmm. You are doing these, yep. Right? They work. They freaking work. And they'll help you get 10x the results for somebody with 10 times less effort. And they're amazing. So you can't afford not to talk about this, not to address it. And one of the most profitable things, I don't care what business model you have in health, wellness, fitness, is by bolting a medical wellness program on. You can do this. And I have cracked the nut on how to align with a medical director so that they handle all the medical end. You don't need to handle dosaging and prescriptions. It's not legal. But there is a legal way that you can coordinate with a medical director, have them handle all the medical side while you handle all of the coaching on what they need to be doing for the exercise, for the nutrition, and that as a whole. And you can sell your wellness program at what you want. Hopefully it's a 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, even annual programs. I've had my clients and other business owners sell for $25,000 a year. You charge, you collect, and then the medical director hands the medical end, and you have your costs for them on that end.
And they deliver.
They deliver, and it is massively profitable. And it is infinitely easier to get somebody to talk to you. And whether you're getting them on a phone call for a consultation, a Zoom call, or in person, it is infinitely easier to get them talking to you and on a consultation when you talk about GLPs and peptides, because everybody wants to know more about it. They've heard about it. They know 10 people on it. They've heard good things about it. They've heard some negative things about it. They want to learn more. They're interested in it. And I can walk around town and book consultations and sign up people by accident. You, for example, you were at the Fitness Business Summit that I did, right, in Scottsdale in February. I got on stage talking about how to do this and teaching other business owners how to do this. I also talked about my experience using GLP-1s and peptides and how amazing I felt, how my body changed effortlessly, very quickly, with the right habits, and how I felt on it. And then everybody at that event who wasn't already a gym owner, I'm teaching gym owner, chiro, med spa owner, online trainer, anybody who wasn't in the business, that was a business-to-business event, helping them out. But you were there, right? You were filming the whole event. There was an insurance guy there. There was an ads guy there. Based on my testimony on what I've been doing and how I've been feeling, they all signed up. And I wasn't selling to them. I wasn't trying to.
Just educating.
I was just educating.
So the thing that I like about the way that you're doing it is, I mean, it truly is like a flawless system, because you're setting it up to where the business gets their benefit. Like any gym owner that does this, they get their benefit from like the high ticket sale, of course. But like at like the core level of it, there's just perfect synergy between, okay, so let me back up. Medical wellness and physical wellness, those are two parts of the same bird.
Yes.
Like but for the longest time, all throughout history, they have all, at least in Western medicine, they have been separated.
Mhm.
They've been treated as two separate things, but really they're the same thing. They can be. The science is just getting so good now with it. The way that you're doing it is you're getting people, the business owners making their money, but you're connecting them. They're getting true medical wellness treatment through doctors, not some shady dude in a garage.
Yep.
Selling some suspicious Chinese peptide that they ordered online. These are all like pharmaceutical grade, tested, like quality peptides or medical wellness supplements. But the benefit for the end user is that's perfectly intertwined into your training programs or to your clients' training programs, because the coaches at these gyms that are doing this, they know what medicine each client, each member is taking, and so they know their limitations. They know like what the end goal is, and everything's just there's a perfect synergy.
There's a perfect synergy. And this is what's wrong with the market right now. There's a couple things. One, there's a giant gray market for peptides where people can get research-only stuff. I just saw a bottle recently that has a literal paw print on it, because that's what you're getting, guys. This is animal grade kind of stuff, likely. And it's coming from China. A lot of people are pretty convinced. Somebody got it from Brazil. They're like, I am convinced it was just alcohol water. It just that nothing happened, right? So when you get gray market peptides, you don't know what's in them. You don't know the purity. They could be underdosed. They could be overdosed. The contaminants in there, like, don't get something that's made for a horse, right? You want medical grade peptides, GLPs, from compounding pharmacies, 503A, 503B. And here's the thing, if there are people who are going to want to get it cheaper and buy it from some dude off of a Facebook marketplace for seller trade, but you're putting this in your body, you're injecting it in your body. It's not worth it.
Nope.
And when you talk about that to the other people, they get it. And so there's the gray market, and more than likely, especially with RFK, he's very pro peptides. RFK has been very pro peptides.
He's in his 70s and can do more pull-ups than me, so I can't say shit.
No kidding, right? He's in insane shape. He's very pro peptides, but he wants to shut down the gray market, which is a good thing. That is a massive safety thing, absolutely massive safety thing. So who knows how long that'll take? 12 months, 18 months, who knows? But people will have to get these through 503A and B pharmacies. And here's the thing, as a health and fitness professional and wellness professional, yeah, you need to bring all this stuff together, because the other problem are all these script mills.
Yep.
That you just walk in, they'll write you a prescription for whatever, send you out the door. They're not going to make sure you're doing what you need to do to maintain your muscle. They're not going to make sure you do what you need to do on your strength training. They're not going to make sure that you're filling in the nutritional gaps and doing the important thing. And a lot of people taking these things without that extra guidance, they're going to be in a bad spot. They're going to tank their metabolism. They're going to make it harder for themselves in the long run. And if you are working in conjunction with the medical director, so you know what they're on and what their dosage is like and where they're at in their phase, and you can make sure on the exercise nutrition end that you're fulfilling on that, you'll give people amazing results and take them by the hand and make sure they do this right. And that is what most people want. People want to learn more about this, but they don't know. They're interested in it. But there's all these people on TikTok and shit like that hawking gray market peptides, talking out of their ass. You don't know. And they want somebody who knows what's going on. They want it to be safe. They want to do it in conjunction with a medical doctor, and they want to bring it all together.
Well, and the other thing too is, am I able to plug names?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've partnered with Asher Health. It was Asher Med. They rebranded to Asher Health. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
yep.
One of the things that they're big on is their staff. Like when I went through my intake form, they asked me questions, and I'm assuming that this is why. But when I worked with them, they will tell people no, like, hey, I'm not prescribing you this.
Right.
Like you have an eating disorder. You don't need to lose weight. You're already 110 pounds soaking wet. You don't need to be any lower. You're fine.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Like in the medical space in general, there's so many doctors. I have a distrust for doctors, to be honest. A lot of doctors will tell me, or I've seen it in my family. They'll just pill. Here's a pill. Here's a pill. Here's a pill. When realistically, So my mom, my mother's health, she's had a couple back surgeries, and back surgeries always lead to more back surgeries, which always leads to painkillers. And my grandmother was on painkillers pretty much as long as she was alive, that I've known her. And my mom has to take them now too because of her back. And
Mm-hmm.
like that, you can fix a lot of that just by getting in shape and being healthy. And the beauty with peptides is you're not, yeah, it's a foreign substance, but it's just giving your body instructions on how to do more of what it already does.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. The body has over 7,000 peptides in it right now. You and I both have over 7,000 peptides in our body that our body makes. And these peptides, and some of them decline as we age. A lot of them decline as we age. That's where the aging process, a lot of it comes from, right? It gets harder to maintain your muscle. It gets harder. Your body doesn't produce as much energy. Our VO2 max goes dramatically down as we age because our mitochondria doesn't function properly. And this is a lot of times when you're working with that client who has a really hard time losing weight, but they are putting in the work and they are changing their nutrition, but their body is really fighting it. Yeah, it's because the body is lacking something. And when you can give it the signal, peptides are just amino acids, they're just signals to your body to do more of something. And it's like, no, you're not 45, you're 25. You need to make more of this. It's incredible how the body changes with this. And, a lot of people, insulin is a peptide. Without it, you will die.
Yep.
Without it, you will die, right? And so there's over 7,000 peptides in the body. And when you take some of these, your body you send the signals for your body to do the work.
so I don't know if you knew this. The human body actually has the instructions for 3 sets of teeth.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know
And
that.
there is a lab in China. I was just reading about it, and I was going into Perplexity and reading like the peer reviews and like the medical studies on it. They're working on making a peptide that gives your body the instruction to send that grow that last set. So like that's just one perfect example of
Mhm.
that. It's truly insane like what this stuff can do. It's
Wow. That's wild. That's one that I don't want to take.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. And so when you're able to offer that inside of whatever business, you could be an online coach, you could be a med spa, you can own a gym, it's tremendous. And the marketing behind it, when you get that out to your email list and you educate them on this, you're going to get people in as normal customers, which you already do, but you will make a lot of money by having a wellness program that incorporates the medical side as well. And you can do it and stay compliant and have the medical director and work hand in hand with them, which is just unbelievable.
And there's a third side that gym owners are missing too. Well, I mean, a lot of them have tried offering this in the past. Nutritional coaching, that goes hand in hand with the medical and that, especially if people are on GLP-1s because they just don't want to eat. Like their body just isn't hungry, but eating becomes more of a discipline at that point. So having nutritional coaching, check-ins and tracking and having systems and with that too. And that with the world of AI that we're in now, we're truly in a make anything era. And I'm sure somebody's already done it. If not, this is a good opportunity. Make your own app that's integrated into whatever gym operating system platform you use, using AI to create this app that allows your members to log in and track their nutrition there, so you can see directly. You have a direct access to what they're eating, and so you can say, hey, the next time they come in, say, hey, I noticed over the last couple of weeks your protein has kind of gone down. Did you not just not log it, or what's the deal? This is really important. The reason I'm asking is because we genuinely care about you, and you're on X, Y, and Z. We need to make sure that
I've built everything for health and wellness business owners to be able to launch this kind of stuff. Number one, you need education on GLPs and peptides. You need to know, you don't need to know it like a doctor, but you need to know what they are, how they work, all that stuff. So that's first line. Then you need to know how to be able to market it, which is really easy because everybody wants to learn about this. But I have built launch sequences for your email, for your social media, and even just like I said, walking around town, it's easy to create conversations with this by accident. I had a Vegas trip the other week, set 2 consultations
Yep.
And you need to know how to be able to talk about it, how to sell it, and how to sell it as a wellness program at a premium price. And then you need to learn how to fulfill it, which is really easy. But I built everything on the marketing end, on the sales end, on how to fulfill it. What do you need to do for your nutrition? Somebody using these different things. What do you need to do on the exercise angle? It's already been built, right? As well as all the marketing materials. I have built a killer GLP-1 perfect webinar or in-person seminar, whatever you prefer, that just absolutely crushes. And it overcomes any objections people would have. It convinces them to do it through you with your wellness program instead of going online to hims or hers and getting it there without all the support. And people are willing to pay for it. They see the best results you'll ever see, period.
Well, and everybody I know that has talked about it or have asked about it, because I have no shame in it. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying it. And that's we're seeing it become more common now with Instagram. People are, talking about this stuff, and there's a little bit of like shame, that stigma taken away from, getting some medical assistance in your goals. What was I saying just before that? I don't know. I forgot.
A lot of stigma on using it.
Yeah.
And, I was really against these things when they came out. And a lot of people in the health and fitness space were against GLP-1s, right? Because we roll our eyes with it. Like, you still need to work out. Why don't you just do it the right way with your nutrition and your eating and your exercise? And it's valid. And I adopted that. And then, anything negative, rumors that you might hear, you'll go blind with it or you'll lose all your muscle mass. And I just poo-pooed it. It was off to the side like a lot of people in my space. But what changed my mind was a few things. Number one, talking to doctors who really knew this stuff. And I'm not talking your run-of-the-mill family doctors, of course. I'm talking to functional medicine doctors. I've worked with, for years now, worked with this amazing gym owner who was a former family medicine doctor, started a gym. He didn't like the family medicine model. You get like 5-10 minutes with people in and out the door, turn and burn the way insurance controls that. And he wanted to help people on a better level. But he adopted medical weight loss with tirzepatide and things like that. And he was educating me over time, and he would show me case studies of his different patients who would lose 30, 40, 50 pounds, but they'd be up 3 or 4 pounds in muscle. He's like, no, when you do this the right way, like, those negative side effects, they can largely disappear. And that's when it started to change my mind. Then I started diving into the research. And even if you're just microdosing, like the health benefits on all this stuff, man, it's pretty tremendous.
The insulin sensitivity going up.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Like, the idea of sugar, I have no craving for sugar anymore.
Yes. That's what I love about it the most. That food noise and the craving.
You're a snacker. I've witnessed this.
Yeah, you've seen me
There's
many
a bowl
times.
of candy.
Dude, it's over.
Yep.
It's over. And I don't care who you are, that addictiveness can still be there. When you do this stuff, that goes away.
Yep.
And it makes it so much easier to get rid of bad habits and replace them with great habits. That's what I love about it the most. It's really, really neat. But yeah, so I started talking to doctors about it, started doing more of the research. I'm like, wow, no, these things done the right way can be incredible. And then I would pop in. I don't work in my gyms anymore, right? But once a month I go into one of mine because there's one person I see, I have a really good relationship. It's more about the coaching than a workout, right? It's life coaching with her. I've known her for over a decade. She's the one person I'll go in once a month for. But I would stop in there. I see Kayla, who's down like 35 pounds. She'd been with us for years, coming in 3 times a week. She made nutritional changes, made some results, but plateaued like a lot of people. And all of a sudden, it's like, she's down 35 pounds. I'm like, holy shit.
Yep.
You look amazing. How do you feel? She's like, I feel fucking incredible.
Yep.
And so many of our best clients and best results, people were using them while doing the right things. And my mind changed. And so that's what I'm like, you know what? There is something to all this, but I can't sell shit I don't believe in. It's just, I'm really bad at it. I'm just not going to do it.
Yep.
I'm just not going to do it. So I also wanted to understand what it felt like physiologically. I wanted to understand what it felt like in the brain. And so I started with tirzepatide and Somorelin, and I found it incredible. I leaned out without trying during a busy work period. I had a lot of travel.
Yep.
My mental focus just snapped in.
Oh, I'm not on my Adderall anymore.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, that's great.
Like,
that is fantastic.
My brain just, it feels worse when I take my Adderall. I don't need it. I'm building my own software right now.
You're a different Nick now.
Yeah, I've got a podcast studio I launched, and
I've seen a huge change in you. And in fact, another business owner that I got set up doing this, he just texted me. He's like, dude, I can just work for like 12 to 14 hours and not feel mentally fatigued. And like, is this normal? Like, I'm like, yeah, I had that too.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like you're
Limitless
a machine.
Pill.
Yeah, it kind of is. And then I started doing different peptides. I upsold myself. Every 2 to 3 weeks, I added 1 or 2 peptides to see what they felt like, what they did. And, Wolverine stack.
Yep.
Holy shit. My knees, my lower back, so much better.
So that's my next one. That's the next one I want to do is that stack. Just for my knees, because I've got a rod from here to here, and then this knee has been dislocated. I've broken both of my wrists multiple times, both of my ankles multiple times. So I was a dumbass as a kid.
Broke my left femur, dislocated my right hip. I've subluxed both shoulders, like that partial dislocation. And my body's never felt better at 43. Yep. Like I feel better than I did when I was in my late 20s. And it's pretty exceptional. I mean, my knees aren't too bad. My left knee can get a little, and I do martial arts. So it compounds a little bit, but they would sound like Rice Krispies going up the stairs. That, after doing 2 cycles of BPC 157 and TB 500, that is 95% gone.
I gave my dog that stack.
It is awesome.
Yeah, he got injured. We were out doing a photo shoot in the field, and he took off chasing cows, and it was all lava rock. And so I don't know if he got kicked by the cows or if he tripped because the ground was really uneven. He's 11. He was down for like 3 days. And so I gave him the TB 500 and BPC 157. And there's a company that sells it combined for like pre-combined in a dropper for their dogs. And within 2 to 3 days, he was up doing the zoomies.
It's amazing.
He's trying to hump other dogs now. I'm like, all right, well,
good for him.
He's back. Yeah. Like if I can get some extra years out of him, it was worth the whatever money it was I spent.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff just works really well.
Yeah,
and I started doing different ones, and like some of my favorite are for energy and metabolism.
Yeah,
NAD plus and MOTS-C. MOTS-C is kind of nicknamed like exercise in a bottle. And I tell you what, holy shit, it legitimately is. Like I did during this heavy period where I had a lot of work. I did no cardio, none. And I started doing that, and then I would go to fencing, and my endurance was through the roof. And I fight guys half my age, and my endurance was through the roof, and it wasn't earned. And it just makes your mitochondria function way better. It's pretty nuts, and those results stay. You don't have to stay on that all the time either.
Well, so one of the things that I appreciate about you is. You go into the weeds and you try this stuff yourself. And even on like the business aspect, back to like the peptide rabbit hole is a whole other thing. But like you're trying your peptides, you want to believe in something that you sell. But on the business side, you've gone through a couple different medical providers and you've seen their systems. And so you're taking the best aspects from them and omitting the worst parts and just building your own super system that streamlines everything and just makes it incredibly simple for a gym owner.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's one thing to have the ability and have the connections with the medical directors and these other platforms to be able to offer it. And then it's another thing to digest it and figure out how you're going to market, sell, and just go with this. And there's different people you can connect with this through, right? There's Asher, there's Outfit, there's several companies, and I've signed up with a lot of them. And I see where a lot of them are doing great things in the way they make it very simple, and I see where there's a lot of opportunities. And this helps me, number one, I can direct the business owner to the right one, right? And I review these in depth and what's going to be the right one, the pros and the cons. And then another thing I'm looking into is like, hey, can I do this in a better way for people too? Because I understand it not just on the medical director and the pharmacy connections and all that, but also from the business owner, actually selling this, actually fulfilling this, actually renewing this, actually getting the referrals from this. And so I have that unique perspective where I can put it all together. Because I have sold this in my gyms, totally online too. And I'm working with chiropractors and med spa owners and IV clinics and estheticians and online coaches and gym owners and personal trainers all alike.
I think something that I feel like your audience could benefit from is you clarifying the difference. So when you originally approached me about the summit that I filmed, you broke down the business model of like how you're doing it, and like it just makes perfect sense. But like a lot of people go, what's the difference between the way you do it versus affiliate?
More specifically,
like the way that you are helping gym owners, through the profit lifestyle and with this peptide high ticket program, or medical wellness high ticket program. A lot of gym owners, they partner with these people with an affiliate deal, but it's like a one-way street.
Yeah. So, oh my God, I see this all the time. So there are ones that you can just send out, right? And send out to somebody, to a medical provider.
So there are what?
There are companies out there. Let's say you own a gym or you have an online coach, where if you refer them, right, they handle everything, they sell whatever, and then they'll give you a cut, 10, 15%, right? That's one way that you could do it. Another way that I've seen a lot of is like if you have a gym, like down the street, there's a med spa, there's a GLP-1 specialist, whatever, and they refer people to. Sometimes you get free peptides and stuff. Sometimes they pay you a little bit of money, or sometimes it's not. But here's the thing, those are so one-sided. So if you're sending out to another company to do it, and they're just kicking back an affiliate fee, I don't like that at all. Because number one, you're handing off a precious relationship. A precious relationship. They could be with you for a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. They will see amazing results. And when they see those amazing results, they're going to credit the other company with that, not you. That is what's going to happen. And if they're seeing amazing results. So push comes to shove, and there's financial constraints in that customer's life, they're going to cut you out before they cut that out. I guarantee you. And then also, so they've been with you for 6 months, a year, 2, 3, and all of a sudden they drop this 30 pounds or that 15 pounds or that 70 pounds. Doesn't matter. When they talk to their friends and family about it, or their coworkers, like, holy shit, what have you been doing? They're going to talk about the other person's business, not yours. That referral is going over there. I can promise you that. I can absolutely promise you that. And that relationship is so valuable for you as the business owner. That's the most valuable thing. You need to retain that. Those results need to come from your efforts and your program. That's how you're going to blow your business up. I mean, last month, I'm busy. I have my gyms. Most of my time is spent on business and wealth coaching. But last month, I sold over $15,000 in wellness programs because of people that just come to me and the referrals that are coming in, right? Myself, I don't have time for it either. They're like, hey, could you please meet with my friend and blah, blah, blah. I've told him much. Okay, sure.
I've seen your calendar.
Yeah. And it's exceptional. I'm not trying. And it's because you're going to get people such amazing results. And they're going to come to you and ask you to do more things. I have text messages on my phone over there. Michael was one of them. He's like, dude, I am feeling incredible. What are some next steps and other peptides that you had mentioned that I should start? Let's hop on a call. It's the easiest thing. You need to be that provider on this. Yeah. Like you stay in your lane. You don't provide the medical advice. You don't qualify them and do their medical screening. Your partner does that. But this program needs to be your program, not somebody else's that you get a small affiliate fee for.
Yep. I mean that, and then also when it comes down to like the bottom line revenue too, if you package it into a high ticket thing, you're not only are you getting the credit, but you're also getting the financial compensation of it, and it's guarantee you day. Much more than a 10% kickback.
Night and day. So the way I really have a lot of people build their packages and their programs, you're going to be upwards of 70% profit margins. 70% profit margins. So when you have a $10,000 program for something, let's say it's a 6-month, $10,000 program, your profit should be way north, probably about $7,500. Varies here and there, depending on how you do things, but huge profits on it.
I mean, that's another employee right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like if you really wanted to grow your gym and you wanted to take on more clients.
Absolutely. And when you've got what I call those G-Wagon clients, your successful ones, maybe they crush it in their professional careers or they're a business owner, they make good money's just not the primary decision factor for them.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of people. I used to be broke, absolutely broke. I got the cheapest thing all the time, right? Now I'm on the other end of it. Now I'm willing to pay more to save time or get better results. And there's a lot of people like that. So, I worked with somebody. He started one-on-one with me and he called me up. He's like, hey, I got this. I know this guy's pretty wealthy. He's very interested in really optimizing his life. I've got a call set up within a couple of days. Can we talk on the phone really quick, like to guide me through this? And I said, yeah. So I hopped on with Brian and he told me about this. And I'm like, well, what were you going to sell him? I was going to do like a 6-month thing and it was going to be this and blah, blah, blah. Like the software would be like $5,000 and I was going to include these things. I'm like, okay. So what I want you to do, I want you to sell a 12-month thing with him. Here's what you say. Here's what you don't say. And the price is going to be $25,000. And the neat thing was, I was getting ready for the event, the summit that I ran. He was at the summit. And I asked him about it because this was just a few days before, right? The week before. And then he announced it to everybody. They sold a $25,000 program. And then at the event, at a break, he got a text message from his buddy in Montana that owns 3 chiropractic clinics, who wants to start as well. And you look at just that alone.
Yeah.
It's just huge.
It's here. And it's like, how are you gonna get in on this, and how are you going to use this to your advantage as a business owner, and then how are your clients going to? And it doesn't all come down to money. Mm-hmm. Almost all gym owners that I've met, they genuinely do care about their members.
100%. It's 100%. That's why we got into the business in the first place, because we actually want to make a difference, and this is just a more effective way. And I'm big on building a model where you can work with fewer people and make more money. So you can give them better time. You can give them better attention. You can give them better results.
Yep.
I mean, when you got 2, 3, 4, 500 members, let's face it, over 90% of them don't really see any results.
Yep.
I mean, it's just how it goes.
Yep. I mean, that's like a lot of big box gyms too. So
yeah.
So how does the back to the profit lifestyle, I know how it does, how it correlates back, but how does the peptide project, I'll call it a project for right now, the peptide offer, how does that correlate back into the profit lifestyle? Like, tell me more about the profit lifestyle.
Yeah, well, I guess, we never even finished kind of talking about how like PT Legends turned into the profit lifestyle, right? So PT Legends was my business coaching arm, where I would work one-on-one with people to teach them high ticket, to guide them along with their marketing, with their sales, building a team, training that team to run simple systems. So you could build a business that can eventually run without you, right? And you have the freedom that you're looking for with money and with time. And so that was PT Legends. But I expanded beyond just trainers and gyms to working with chiros and med spas. But the reason I'm getting away from that PT Legends name is there's actually an imposter company that came up that started making outrageous claims, like we promise you just insane amounts of money or your money back, right? And what's crazy is that they first named themselves PT Legend without the S. Then they just went full bore and put the S on there, which like you can clearly see the domain and everything I have. Why would you do that? I don't know, right? It's nuts. But it's crazy. But here's the thing. By the time some people mention it to me, I'm like, oh, that's ridiculous. I'll put it on my list to like hit this guy up and tell him to stop. But then what happened, I started getting refund requests from people who thought that was my company. I started getting a lot. I got Better Business Bureau complaints. And I'm like, dude, this is not me. And in fact, a gym owner in New York, they were about to start. They're like, hey, we researched you online and you have terrible reviews. And then I'm like, can you show me that? And then I looked at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the imposter company. Rest assured that's not me. And then we did a $30,000 in new business in their first 8 weeks.
Crazy.
But they almost didn't start because they thought I was that. So I'm like, you know what? I can fight that and send attorneys in this, but if there's this good chunk of people and there's this that's already poisoned that name, I'm getting away from it.
Yeah, I mean, you spend all this money in attorneys and doing all of that
Yeah.
when you can turn around and you could spend $300 or $500 for a new domain and some graphic design done for a new logo and just
Exactly, because I don't want people associating me with that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, now that I was working with all these business owners, they're making a lot more money. They have no idea how to keep that money and grow that money.
Mhm.
So many of them are paying way more to the IRS than they should because their CPA sucks. They don't know what to tell. You were at the event when Abu said, save $30,000 annually paying to the IRS. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But there's all these business owners I'm working with that are making way more money. And now they're overpaying the IRS and they have no idea what to do with that money and how to invest it to create passive income. And so I started solving the next problem. It's like, great, all these businesses are making great money. Now they need to learn how to turn it into passive income. Yeah. And so the Profit Lifestyle is business and wealth coaching. They go hand in hand. Yep. There's a lot of successful business owners that I know that they have a rough year, they run into a rough patch, and they're already hurting because they had no plan on how to manage that money, how to make it grow, how to make it last, and keep it liquid.
Yep. I mean, even last year when I was brainstorming that I wanted to open up my own podcast studio, we sat down for lunch and I showed you the numbers and you're like, yep, it makes sense. Like you have to have that system in there and you have to know what your money's doing and where it's going and make sure that that's healthy. And then once you get to a certain point, you got to know what to do with all of that because I mean, money does buy happiness up to a certain point. Like you make enough money to live and pay your bills. After that, it's like, okay, well, now what am I doing? Am I saving it for a house? Am I putting this into infinite banking, which is a whole other thing that you do?
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of the point of.
Yeah. How do you take the profits of your business? How do you take the profits of your business and turn it into indestructible wealth? So you never have to worry about money ever again. I don't care how many kids you have, how long you live, you should, within several years, be able to set yourself up on that path. And that higher low-key anxiety about money should go away as you start building this. So I had to merge the business and the wealth side together. So because business and wealth coaching goes hand in hand if you own your own business, period, end of story. You need both ends of it, and they're very integrated. And so the Profit Lifestyle, yeah, it's making the money that you want, but think of your dream lifestyle, which may be the same as mine. It may be different. People want different things. What is that dream business and that dream lifestyle that you really want? That's where I start with everybody. Let's build a business that you want to build to give you the marriage of time and money. And let's make sure all the assets and passive income are going to support that. That's it.
It's just reverse engineering the goal.
Absolutely.
You engineer the outcome. You set what outcome you want, and then you figure, okay, well, what do I need to make that happen? I need to make this much money. Okay, well, how much money do you actually have to make to take home that much money? Okay, well, what do you need to do to get that? How many clients? Whatever it is, and you just back to square one, right where you currently are.
Absolutely. And I can't tell you how many times I'll talk with somebody, we'll plug in their current metrics into my profit predictor because they've been just stuck for years. They go a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but they're just stuck. And they're like, man, I'm not breaking through. And that's when we get burnt out. That's when we think about quitting, selling our business, doing something different, or just frustrated, or just we resign ourselves to living a mediocre life instead of an exceptional life. That happens too. And when I plug a lot of their numbers in, when we figure your ACV, your average client value, how many people you're signing up on average, when we look at the churn rate, which a lot of people don't measure that correctly, and I can plug that in, I'm like, yeah, even if we brought in 4 or 6 new clients a month, based on these numbers, you'd cap out here. Here's your profitability. Yeah, no wonder you've been stuck for 3 years. And it's not always a big lift to get you. You've done the hard part. You've built the business. You're starting to get it going. To make it massively profitable, sometimes you just got to do 1 or 2 tweaks to it. And it's not always adding more members.
So, quick plug. If you want to tell the audience, how do they get in touch with you on or how do they access that tool to be able to plug their numbers in?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So I'm going to make this available. Website's in development now. By the time you see this, it's probably going to be there. But if it looks different, don't be alarmed. But if you go to theprofitlifestyle.com, you can get access into the university that I built. And in there, you'll have the profit predictor. You will have done for you marketing, emails, you name it. Like that's where I'm housing everything. By the time you see this clip, more than likely, it's going to be its own separate app on the App Store too. So it's where we really host all of our training, education, modules done for you, all the courses on building indestructible wealth, on marketing, on sales, on high ticket, on peptides. You can just go right there and it's literally housed in everything. And then for those that have access to my mastermind and the group calls that we do, we run multiple group calls a week. I lead them. People on my team leads them. We have dedicated ones for butts and seats, marketing, sales, all of that kind of stuff. So, but you'll be able to get access to that for theprofitlifestyle.com. And more than likely, we're going to offer a free version where you can get into that and just dive into it and start learning. And we're deciding to do things like that because I've helped, I don't know at this point, 300 plus business owners. And some of them, we were just talking about this earlier before we started recording, like Larry. I've been in touch with Larry for, it was longer than about a year and a half, and he wanted to start, but money was something that's holding him back from being able to work with me and my team. But, he came to the event and, a year and a half later, and he's like, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. I can squeeze it in. And you look at his business 2 months later, he's in a whole different trajectory with his entire life and family. And it's a shame that it took him a year and a half to be able to do it or willingness to take that risk. You and I have both hired a lot of expensive masterminds and mentorships and coaches. Some of them are worth it, some of them aren't, but it's scary. And so we wanted an option where we can help anybody at any level. And that's what we've been able to do. And the people that want more help and to work with me on a weekly basis and just build an indestructible business, great. But we have a lot of other ways that you can just get going and rip stuff out with guidance, with group calls, with one-on-one check-ins and game plans and roadmaps.
Heck yeah. They want your help. You want to help them, but so you're doing something to help bridge that gap to get them to a point where you can help them.
Absolutely.
Again, it's reverse engineering the outcome.
Absolutely. Because, man, it's heartbreaking when, I meet people who are stuck, who are struggling, who are just building a business, and they're short on cash flow. I know all that. Man, for my first several years in business, it was like eating peanut butter. You know what I mean? Like I was just hand to mouth. How am I going to get the bills paid this month?
You're talking to a 2-month-old business owner right now with this one.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And you need the help, but it's like I can't afford the help, and to be honest, there's a lot of people who bought programs in the past, I won't name any names, that it killed their business too. Right?
Yep.
And I've got to be able to get the help to the people with where they're at. And I'm committed to doing that because I've been through hell and back. I have been lucky. It's not that I'm brilliant. It's just that I've failed faster and I didn't give up.
Yep.
Right? And I took the risks. I spent probably north of $300,000 with different masterminds and coaches and courses inside the health and fitness business and outside the health and fitness business. I've invested a ton. Some of it was really well spent. Some of it wasn't. But I've accumulated knowledge and skill sets that I've combined uniquely, the best of everything, discarding what doesn't work, and I get to bring it to everybody. And I am method agnostic. I don't care if you're group or semi or one-on-one. I don't care if you're a chiropractic facility. We're going to take and fine-tune things specific for your business, so you just go.
You've already talked about the high-ticket winnable business a bit, right? Let's see. We've got, let's talk about charging more being better for clients.
Yeah.
Why is it?
It's so important to charge your value. Without it, everybody loses. And the common mistake so many business owners get into is they get into business, what should I charge? Then they look up the places down the street and they're like, cool, I'll do that and I'll come in under that. Next guy comes in, does the same thing. What should I charge? Well, I'll charge what these guys are charging. These guys are charging this, I'll come in a little bit under that. And it just brings price points down until we're all just over broke. And we've seen this rampantly in the fitness space, okay? So look at the devastation going on with large group commodity-based workouts. F45s, holy cow. I mean, they had an IPO. They eventually failed. They went back. It's worth 4% of what it was at IPO, right, or at the peak. And they're going out of business left and right all over the place. They're closing down everywhere. Every single Mayweather fitness place closed down or is closing down. Even people at the top of the game, considered the pinnacle Orange Theory fitnesses, aren't renewing leases, are closing down. You're seeing a lot of this, and there's a lot of reasons. Decline in demand due to peptides and GLPs. There's a lot of reasons. But at the end of the day, when you have to rely on high volume to make it happen, that's not even feasible in every market. It's not even feasible in every single market.
Well, I mean, Taylor's in his community that he does, that his gym is in, has a population of like 2,500 people, like within 20 square miles.
So Taylor is a great example. He's in a very small rural town. The towns are spaced out by miles and miles and miles, right? 2,500 person population in his town. But he's able, you'd be so shocked at how much monthly revenue he brings in. It's exceptional. And it's because, yeah, he's got offers. He's got, your high, your mid, your low ticket items. And a lot of people are low ticket. But some people are going to be mid and high ticket, which make up huge amounts because they want to pay you more for better value, better attention. And here's the universal truth. The people who pay the most are your easiest clients.
Every video project I've done, whenever it's been like a corporate conference, they're like $12,000-$15,000. They're like, yep, check sent, everything looks good to go.
Yep.
No revisions, nothing. They don't care.
Yep.
They're like, yeah, no, looks great.
The people who pay the most are your best clients. They are happy to pay the bill. They expect the least. They are the most, they respect what you do and value what you do and what you provide. And they're happy to pay you month in, month out, or however you need it. The people who pay the most are your best clients. People who pay attention. And the people who pay the least, this is universal, the people who pay the least that you do deals for, that you bend over backwards to help them out, they're the biggest pains in the asses. They're going to expect the most. They're the first to bitch and complain.
Yep.
About anything. And they're the first ones to ask for deals. They're the first ones to bounce out. And you're bending over backwards. They're the first ones to create a negative culture or experience in your business as well, period.
There's a reason I don't work with real estate agents anymore.
Yeah.
They're all fake rich.
Yeah.
And $500 to them or $750 to them is going to make or break their deal. And I'm like, dude, you're making, I know the market. You're making 15 to 20K on this deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the people who pay the least are the biggest pains in the ass.
Yep.
It's a universal truth. And quite often we let a few experiences, consultations, because again, they're the squeaky wheels. Mm-hmm. The people who are paying you 10 times the amount, they're happy. Yep. They show up, they pay, they say thank you.
Yep.
But we don't hear from that a lot, right? It's the people at the lower end of it that we hear the bitching, the complaints. I spent this much money with you over the last 6 months and all this kind of stuff, and it's too expensive and blah, blah, blah. The place down there charges whatever, you're charging this. And we let that get into our heads. And this relates to the K-shaped economy. The K-shaped economy, right? With how things have evolved since COVID and inflation, the cost of assets have gone way up. The upper 10% of people, the upper 10% of income earners are doing really well in this economy. Their assets have appreciated, their stocks, their real estate, their wages have kept up. And the bottom part of the K-shape, the bottom 90%, have seen inflation erode their purchasing power. Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why a lot of people charging lower rates are suffering right now. And businesses that are charging lower rates are suffering is because inflation has eaten that disposable income. If you focus on the upper part of the K-shaped economy, the upper part of the K-shaped curve, you'll find it way easier to win the game.
Yep.
Way easier. You need a fraction of them because on average, they're going to pay you 5 to 10 times more.
I mean, with this podcast agency that I launched, I'm not doing discounts. I don't do discounts. I'm offering people a free session where they can come in, no obligation, because it's a win-win. I get content from my social media. They get content that they can use. You get
content, you get social proof.
I get to build a like a relationship with these people. Yes. Even if they don't convert, they know people. People will, it always comes up in conversation, and podcasting is more
100%.
Prevalent now more than ever. I mean, it's on Hulu and Netflix now. So, but the avatar client that I'm marketing to is wealth advisors, financial advisors, CPAs, tax strategists, doctors, lawyers, people that are at executive roles and are on that upper K, the upper K part of the market.
Yep.
Just because I've learned that lesson. I've had clients that I've worked with in the past that like they want the absolute most for the bare minimum, and if you give it to them, they'll bleed you dry. They'll just keep asking. They'll keep asking until you say no, and people will only respect you as much as you respect yourself. So when you can stick your flag in the ground and say, nope, this is what I'm worth, you'll attract the clients that appreciate that and then want that level of service, and they want that type of atmosphere and that energy.
Yeah.
It's infectious.
Absolutely. And even your low ticket needs to be at a rate that can sustain your business. Yep. And that's where the 3-tier high ticket strategy comes in. You're going to have a very high ticket offer that you're going to anchor at, right? And that's going to be expensive. People are like, oh my God, your top clients are going to see the value and they're going to do it. You don't need everybody doing your high ticket offer, right? You'll have some people that like, man, I really wish I could do that, but it's just not in the budget. Like I'm a school teacher, I'm a single mom. There's no way I can afford, but man, this is absolutely the program I want to do. That's where you have a mid-ticket program. It's like, well, we have another program that's going to be 80 to 90% of this, leaving no stone unturned for you to get to where you need. It's going to be boom, 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 boom. This program is only Y dollars. Oh, awesome. And they'll do that. But for the people who just want the low ticket, you'll still have a low ticket offer.
You just scale your services to match.
But it's still going to be at a good rate.
Yep.
And you scale your service to match it, right? It's just the bare minimum, but you can get going here, right? And here's the thing, because you anchored so high at this huge high ticket program, and then your low ticket, even though it's more expensive than everybody else around you, it's relatively less, and it appears higher value because of the way you've handled this perfect consultation.
Yep.
And it's a way that you can take somebody who would have been a shitty client had you bent over backwards and really rock bottom price and all that, and now they see the value. They see that higher price, even as your low ticket. They see the value in that.
Yep. And people sense desperation too. Big time. It's like a smell.
It is.
And my favorite thing to say, if I have an inquiry that reaches out about a project, and I'm not really doing gig work too much anymore. Like there's some events I'll do and stuff, but like the studio is this is my focus now. But I've had people reach out and they'll go, oh, I'll quote them, and they'll go, well, I've got somebody that said that they'll do it for less. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got clients that pay me more. So like I can raise your rate. I can charge you more if you want. And they're usually, no, actually that $3,500 or $5,000, that's okay. That's okay. Like, yeah, it is, because I'm still going above and beyond because I'm a perfectionist. So
yeah, you've got to anchor it high.
Yeah.
Right. If you just come out with your offer, you have nowhere to go but down.
Yep.
You have nowhere to go but down.
It's race to the bottom.
That's what it is. And that's why so many business owners struggle. It's a race to the bottom. And the way you win that game is by not playing it. Go with a 3-tier, high, mid, low ticket offer. And it's really tough not to win the game that way.
And when you make your offer, even just using a spreadsheet, build out what the actual pricing is based on the actual costs and expenses to deliver. Even if it comes down to hourly, like, okay, I need 2 coaches for this offer, and that breaks down into this per hour. Build that out and make every variable of that into the equation, because then it's bulletproof. It's completely watertight, and you can actually have a clear understanding of what your margin is per offer after these expenses and contingencies. That's a big thing people miss out on is contingencies. Okay, well, if I have this number of clients and my AC goes out in my commercial gym,
Yes.
that's a $25,000 fix right there.
Ooh, baby, those things are expensive now.
Yeah.
Yeah, per commercial unit, you're looking at $17K plus each.
Yep.
Each.
So it's like build it out with math in mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because we're operating just over broke.
And likely what you'll find is your price is going to be a lot higher than these other competitors, but when you do that, your service will be able to reflect it because it's a healthy business. The numbers are actually working for you. And then the client gets that they're going to have a great experience. They're going to tell everybody else that they had a great experience. It's the way to go.
Yeah. And I mean, we just ignore, as if we're self-employed, we ignore the actual cost of operating a business.
Yeah. I mean,
we don't think about the fact that, I should be spending X thousands on marketing. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I'm doing the work myself. A business should be designed so the owner does not have to work inside of it.
Yep.
Period.
I mean, good example for the video industry. It's only getting more expensive right now, even though AI is making stuff easier. It's getting more expensive in one aspect just because if you're running your business properly, you're charging the cost of storage to your clients. You're passing that on to the clients because that's not cheap, especially now. An 8 terabyte drive is $1,500.
It's ridiculous now.
Like 3 years ago, that was an 8 terabyte drive you can get for $800. It's insane.
But even 800 is still a lot.
Yeah.
Like when you're keeping all that on file and it accumulates.
Well, even just a 2 terabyte drive is like 600 or 700 now. It's absurd. I just got a drive on B&H the other day. It was on sale for $189 for a 2 terabyte. I was like, yoink.
Score.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need it, but I will.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The costs have exploded.
Yep. So how did high ticket change your business?
Man, high ticket changed my business overnight. I know it was back in late COVID in 2020 when we decided to just test it out, launched it in my Glendale, Arizona location. And the first month that we launched it, and again, it wasn't fine-tuned. It took years to fine-tune and really get things done the right way. But the month that we launched it, we brought in just over $40,000 in new business and selling all 9-week programs. And it just completely changed it. So once that proved concept, then what I did is I taught all my other operators at my other locations how to do it. And then all of us had hit all-time revenue records just within months. And it was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing. So it changed it right away. And then that's what led into this. I mean, I didn't want to really get into the business coaching space. I didn't think about it, but I was in a very large one. I had a few hundred gyms in there and mainly broke. I mean, their annual report shows what the average person makes there. It's not pretty. And but I had been in there for a while. And then they started asking me, like, what the hell are you doing? Because I got multiple locations and just seeing these wins. And then I said, well, this is what I'm doing. And they're like, can you teach me how to do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not your model. I wasn't large group. I was private and I was semi-private. But I started working with a couple, and they started blowing up. And then I had tons of people just come through.
They just wanted to know how. So like it affected your gyms personally, and then people were like, "Well, how the heck did you do that? Let me give you money. You show me how to do that."
Yeah. So it happened kind of by accident.
That's funny.
It just became a thing.
That's funny.
And then I enjoy it so much because I have been through the worst as a business owner. I have been scared and broke and anxious for years and barely squeezing by, not sure if I can make it.
Amounts of credit card debt or that story.
Oh, yeah. I've been in huge financial trouble, had to dig out of a massive hole. And I was lucky enough to kind of like stumble upon and put this thing together. And I spent a lot of money on it too. Online coaching, that's where it started. I'm like, how are these online coaches charging 3 to 8K for like a 12-week thing, all online?
Mm-hmm.
And then here I am, we're brick and mortar giving so much more and we're charging relatively peanuts for it. And that's what I'm like, okay, I need to learn from that. So I spent a lot of money with different ones. It's still harder than they all make it appear.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I developed this mentorship to actively affect change with people. Because nutrition coaching, we all know that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want it. It's pulling teeth again to make changes. But I had really dug deep on behavior change, influenced a lot by atomic habits, by tiny habits, and I've been through different things. I created this amazing mentorship program that was actually working. So I made a Frankenstein baby. I took what I learned on high ticket, merged that together, then launched it. And that's where we did the 40 grand in the first month.
Mm-hmm.
And it just changed. And so I've really tightened that and ironed it out. I don't care whether you're an esthetician or an online coach or a gym owner or whatever, we can build.
Yep.
I teach people how to build, sell, fulfill, and renew high ticket programs. And the great thing is you could sell 2 a month. And you can make an extra, when you get the renewals in and everything too, you can profit an extra 60 to 100K just from selling like 2 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's how big of a lift it can be. It's not that, because people are like, well, Scott, people in my area can't afford that. Look at Taylor's.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 2,500 people in his town.
Yeah,
the median income is in the 40s, 40K a year, 40-something K a year. It's not like he's in a wealthy area and has a huge amount. You don't need a huge amount. You can sell 1 to 2 of these a month. And for a lot of you, you guys are going to be making double your profit, some of you. You know?
Yep.
It's very powerful.
Yep. It's there's definitely a good ROI on it. I mean, in the people from your group and the other groups I've been in, like there's a common theme. All of these groups and programs, not all of them, you spend money on the education. As long as you're taking action on what you learn, you're going to get your value back and more.
Yeah.
That being said, you are just like Tim, very, very in the weeds in like your own different lanes. You're very in the weeds of what you're teaching. And I have a rule of if I join a group, the teacher, the mentor has to still be owning that business and in the weeds doing it, because things change so fast.
Oh yeah.
And there's so many of these gurus online that are like, I sold my video business to start teaching everybody else. I'm like, no, you didn't. You failed as a videographer. And so you just thought that you could make more money teaching people. That's
why I didn't want to get into the business in the first place.
Yeah.
Is because I didn't want to become a business coach because I felt it was a very seedy kind of thing. There's some genuine good ones out there, but the vast majority are people who failed at what they did before.
Yep.
And they're just like, I make a little bit of money, but you know what? I could make more money by teaching it. So I'm just going to do that.
They've got like 2 wins under their belt and they're like, all right, I'm the best there's ever been. God should be thanking me for existing at this point. And I'm gonna teach everybody and take all of their money too and not really deliver anything.
Yep. And then you get a lot of these guys and they're still teaching the things that worked 6 years ago. And it no longer works today. The health and fitness space has evolved so fast, and social media and ads, it's continuously evolving. And if you're still teaching the shit that worked 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, good luck, man.
Yep.
It's not working.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the business owners that pay them are the ones that suffer.
Yep. It's a very weird space, and I have very mixed emotions usually I can call it with people. I've got a really good sense of gurus and private equity. I can tell whenever private equity has gotten involved with a business, because I mean, my girlfriend's studio, she's got a photography studio in Mesa, and it's like I think 6,000 square feet. It's a bunch of different rooms. She rents it out to photographers. Her original landlord owned the building, the entire building. There's like a therapist and a bunch of, I want to say there's like 30 suites in it. He was great. Like she could call him anytime that like there was an issue and he would get there and fix it, like usually same day, to be honest. But now, like last year, we had those monsoons and part of the roof fell off, landscaping was getting overgrown, and dirt was on the windows, and that's not good when, you know, you're doing photos in there. You can't have dirt caked on the windows.
Yeah.
And she like called and she had to send probably 5 different emails and then eventually threaten like, hey, you're violating our lease. Like, you're supposed to be taking care of the landscape and you have to be doing this. And I asked her, I was like, who's the property manager? Is it still the same guy? And she's like, no. I was like, yeah, I know. You didn't have to tell me.
Yep.
I knew right away. Back to what you were talking about earlier with the high ticket and how it changed your life. What's kind of the mindset, that the shift that needs to happen in order to do it? Because I mean, it's really easy to sell low ticket, high volume because there's not a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
With high ticket, there's a pressure to perform, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great question. Because, one of the biggest things that I have to help people that aren't as confident, some business owners come in and they know they're worth it. And they're like, yeah, I just have been I've been undercharging. I know I'm worth that. I just haven't been charging. I didn't know how. I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know how.
Mm-hmm.
And they get in there, they adopt it, and they just start crushing it. Julie Salter is a great example. She's online only. She was undercharging. We like doubled her rates. Then we also brought in peptides and GLPs, and she's selling $18,000 programs. She said, I think last month she did $43,000 in new business from 5 people. From 5
$43,000?
$43,000.
From 5 people.
From 5 people. How much fucking easier is that to find 5 people than it is to sign up 30?
Okay, so here's my other question. How much more time is it taking her?
Oh, virtually none. That's the whole thing. When figuring out like, okay, how do I build a program that's worth that, right? I just give you that. I teach you that.
Mm-hmm.
You put your own flavor on it, right? I'm not going to tell you how to coach, but I have the skeleton, the framework, and exactly how to do it. It's so much less than you think, right? Look at just a guitar, okay? You can get, the low ticket is the Fender Squier, right? Manufactured overseas. They even label it separately, but it's a Fender guitar, just with not as good of parts, right? Then a lot of people will get the mid ticket. That's like your standard American Stratocaster. Maybe it's $800, $700-800, something like that. And they sell a lot. And people are willing to pay 3 times the amount for that because they want the American-made one with the better pickups or whatever, right? Okay. But then you'll also have
the custom shop.
And you're going to be paying 15, 20 grand for that. And you're going to wait a year to get it. But people who value that and who want that specific thing are going to get that. But at the end of the day, yeah, the costs are a little bit more because they're doing some custom, but they're not that much more. It's not that much more at all. It just isn't. And there's just a lot less than you would think, because the person who wants to pay more for better, it's just a little bit more attention, a little bit more add-ons, but it's not like you got to develop a whole new program and spend the next 6 months trying to build something.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just give it to you and we'll fine tune it for how you want to do it. But it's simple. It's simple. Behind the curtains, if it's just like a high ticket mentorship, and we're doing an onboarding where I'm going to learn about them and kind of what their daily life is like and their eating habits are like and what the obstacles are. And then we can do a weekly touch base, 15 minutes.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier with, solving a bigger problem. Like, so with again, beating a dead horse with this as an example, but the studio, like I'm not selling podcast production. Podcast production is just the medium to get to the product that I'm actually selling. The actual product that I'm selling is brand positioning people into a spot of authority and giving them a platform, to helping them build a platform to connect with people and, bring leads in, so say a lawyer, or not a lawyer, that would be a bad example because of legal laws, but business owner that wants to work with somebody, but the person's not quite on the fence yet. Get them in the door for a free podcast, and they come in and they sit down and they just chat. They chat, and now there's a relationship formed. They're bantering. They understand each other a little bit more. It's going to be 10 times easier for them to convert them afterwards. And they have content that is going to be useful for both people, evergreen. It's just the high ticket is you're just solving a bigger problem.
That's it. right? To get paid the big bucks, solve a bigger problem. And it's the art, that's where the sales of it comes in, right? It's learning what that is. For an average trainer, coach, gym owner, whatever, that person comes in, they wake up that morning, right? And they look down, they look on the scale, or they put on their pants and it's getting tight, and just like they're ready now. They're like, oh man, this has got to go. Something's got to change. I need to lose weight. Therefore, I need to work out. Therefore, I'll call your place up. How much is it?
Mm-hmm.
They just think it's the workouts. And that's it. And then you're just talking about commodities. Here's why our workouts are better. Here's what we do. Here's our community.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, we're not talking about the elephant in the room, right? You've got to get to that bigger problem.
Mm-hmm.
That bigger problem is not, I need to lose these 15 pounds. That's not it.
They need to feel better.
That's
about
the symptom.
themselves.
Yeah. It's whether they spent time thinking about this or not. Most don't,
Mm-hmm.
right? They had that feeling, but they're like, oh yeah, I'm fat. I got to lose this weight. And right. But it's the fact that, like, sure, they want to lose 15 pounds, but it's not that. It's the fact that they might feel like a failure to their kids, a bad example for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
They might have low energy and feel sluggish, or I'm just not like, I'm not feeling myself, like whether it's at work or at home,
Mm-hmm.
the energy levels that you have. When you put on those clothes and they don't fit right, you feel self-conscious. It affects your self-esteem. It affects your social esteem,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have text message of people I've done this with, because I teach like how to get that information out before the consult.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an amazing text message. And she's just like, I miss my confidence. I want my confidence back. I used to be super confident. I miss it. I skip out on parties and get-togethers because I'm ashamed of how I look and feel. I hide my body with sweatshirts and sweatpants, even when it's hot, which it's Phoenix, hot as hell all the time. She talks that she feels a bad example for her kids. She says her mindset, all she feels about all every day is like how heavy she is, how gross, tired, embarrassed. She even talked about the fact that it's affecting intimacy with her spouse. And at the end of the day, when you can learn how to pull that out in your lead nurture process and in your sales process, is that problem worth $3,000 to solve?
Probably.
Fuck yes, it is.
Yeah. I mean,
hell yeah. And she was only 10, 12 pounds away from where she should have been.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it's affecting her.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to your job is to peel back the layers of the onion to get to that bigger problem,
Mm-hmm.
and then show them how it's going to look and feel when they solve that problem, right?
And dissect it into the individual parts. And
Yeah.
again, it loops back into the peptides and the medical wellness. You've got nutrition, you've got peptides,
Oh, yeah.
medical wellness, and then you've got the physical training. They're all part of the same health.
Absolutely. And the great thing about adding peptides and GLPs is like, listen, I sold all this and was really successful for years doing it the hard way. Selling shit people don't want, which is workouts and nutritional change and habit change, right? That's the hard thing that people don't want. People want instant results. Now being able to have medical wellness and GLPs and peptides, they're going to get 10 times the results, 10 times faster with 10 times less effort. And it is 10 times easier to sell and sell at amazing prices where you have unbelievable profits.
Yep. It's Tim has said this for years, but selling fitness and memberships is you're selling an unattractive solution. People don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
Well, now you can sell the attractive solution that comes with the work, but like you just said, you get there 10 times faster. You can and it's integrated. It's the future.
It is the future. I like to say it's not even the future, it's the present.
Yeah.
It is happening now. They're just not coming to you for it. They're going to everybody else, and they're not pulling in the fitness plus the nutrition plus the medication. You have a unique opportunity to capture that whole thing and radically change somebody's life in a very short period of time and have tons of profits, get tons of referrals out of it. And you should own this in your local market. If you're brick and mortar, you should own this. If you're going online, this is so easy. I have literally signed up clients that I sat next to on an airplane, that I sat next to at a business event. People on my social media, even though my social media is all for other business owners, is business to business, teaching you guys, My personal friends or old clients or networks, they see that and they hit me up. I got one from Corey and Monica. Like, so he shot me a text message, and he was a client from years ago when I was still working as a personal trainer in my facility.
Yep.
And he's like, how can Monica and I get on this with you? I don't know what he's just been seeing the business to business stuff, right?
And that's the crazy thing with online is you don't really understand, like your metrics. You might only get 5 likes on something, or you might get, a couple hundred, whatever, a couple hundred views, but you don't really realize how many people are probably actually liking it mentally without actually clicking the button. And how many people you're actually reaching with it.
That is a big thing.
And
organic social media, like for a lot of us, especially if you have high ticket offers, you don't need to run tons of ads. And yeah, you might not hardly see any likes and comments like, is anybody seeing this? But it is so effective when you do organic content the right way. That is why I'm so bullish on it. And I have everybody do it. Sammy's a great example. She was a former nurse, and she is doing online health coaching with GLPs and peptides. And she's doing that, and she hired a marketing company, spent like 20 grand. They're doing fuck all. The website's still not finalized. The back end Go High Level CRM sucks. They've been putting out finally some posts, sucks. And it's on their business page, which is all pay to play. And at the end of the day, I'm like, listen, you've grown your business right now just from referrals. People love you. And so here's the direction we need to take. Don't overthink it. Here's some of the posts that we're going to make. She made her first post, and she's timid about it, right? Because she's not that person. But it was a stock photo of her, or not stock photo, but right, just a photo of her. It was one sentence, and she signed up 4 people from it in 2 days on our organic social media, just for a personal profile.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason, like, listen, people are so curious about peptides and GLPs. All you've got to do is talk about it.
Talk about it, give the education,
and they're just going to come to you. It sounds too good to be true. I get that. But it's where we're at now. But you need to get into the market now. Don't wait until, you know what I mean? Like, don't wait until everybody's into it. Get into it now.
I mean, I don't sell them. I don't own a gym, and like that's not my lane, but I have no shame in talking about the ones that I've been doing. And I've sent your calendar link off to probably 3 or 4 different people that asked for it. So like,
yeah.
Like, and that's just from me talking about it. And I'm not even selling it. I'm like, hey, let me just refer you to the person. This is who you need to go to.
Yeah.
It's truly crazy how interested people are in it, and there's a massive opportunity.
Yeah. This is kind of like getting into Facebook or Instagram when it first started. The people who are first in, or YouTube, they got millions of followers. Doesn't matter what you put. You're just in, boom, you're going to explode. And that audience can set up a business for the rest of your life for these people.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's just how it worked. This is the same thing. Like, you at least owe it to learn about this and to see if it's something that you want to put into your business instead of scoffing at it.
Yep.
I scoffed at it for a while just because I wasn't a believer until I learned more. And then I got into it. I'm like, oh, this is the easiest money in the world to make right now.
And why would you fight the market? You're a business owner too. Like, people are going to do it. And so they're either going to buy from you, or they're going to buy from the next guy down the street.
Absolutely. Like we don't
and if it doesn't cost you any extra time, you'll never win. Not to.
You'll never win by fighting the market, right? And companies do it all the time, right? It's nobody uses kerosene for the fuel source anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And the kerosene industry can try and block that way back decades ago. It's never going to happen. Right? You're not going to change things. If you're not a big texting. Remember when texting became a big thing?
Yep.
Everyone's like, well, just call me. We're all fucking texting now.
Yep. And now it's FaceTime.
You're not going to fight change. So you need to adopt and evolve or die. Right?
Yep. Well, anything else?
I think that's good. I think, guys, the main message is business is not easy, right? And There's a million things that you're doing. It's whack-a-mole, but you do have to take a step back. You've got to learn what's going to change everything for you. A lot of you are just one or two small changes, not working harder, it's working smarter. A lot of you guys are just one or two small changes away from opening up your business and creating a life that you dreamed of. And sometimes it's not what you think it is. Sometimes it's a churn problem. Sometimes it's a price and offer problem. Sometimes it's a different thing, but you all are just one or two main things away, and you've done the hard work, and you just need to identify that, work smarter, and you can watch everything change. And I want you to encourage you to take a step back from your business. Hop on a call with me or somebody on my team, or at least listen to the podcast, or get into the Profit Lifestyle University and start learning and figuring out what it is. You can talk to us and we'll help you identify it. And if you want our help doing it, awesome. But if you want to take that and try and figure out yourself, you're welcome to do that too. But at the end of the day, I've been where you're at. I have been struggling. Or if you're not struggling, you're just stuck. You're like, how do I get from here to there? Or you're like, how do I get my money to start working for me now? Wherever you're at, just don't be shy about jumping in and making use of the free stuff that we have to offer, and talking to us and seeing if there's help that you need anywhere else.
Awesome.
Hey, everybody. Thanks a lot for listening and tuning in. And I hope that you got to check out the visuals on podbrosmedia.com and their awesome studio in Scottsdale. Appreciate you listening. We'll see you next week. And if you have any content, social media needs, anything with podcasts, feel free to go to Pod Bros Media, ask Nick about it. He's an awesome dude, and I highly recommend it. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next week.